My next guest is the newest member of the UFC's roster. Is going to be taking on Michael Morales coming up here at UFC 277 this Saturday. It's Adam Fugitt joining me here on the program for the very first time. Adam, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, pleasure's all mine, man. It's fight week. You're fighting and making your UFC debut. Just how excited are you, man? Because I got to imagine this was a long time coming for you.
I'm pumped. It's definitely a culmination of work coming all together, and it feels good. It feels good.
When did you find out about the news? Like, and how did you find out? Was it a phone call, email? Take me through that moment when you found out you were part of the UFC roster.
Okay, yeah, it was last Wednesday. I was actually just kind of gearing down for about an hour, hanging out with my dog, and I got a phone call, and I wish I could say that I was like, really like caught off guard, but they kind of told me that my name was being like thrown around out there and to be ready. And this is my life, so I train every day and I teach every day, and so I was trying to stay ready with the diet, keep on the diet. I don't want to get throw out patty out there. I don't want to get all big, so yeah, I got the phone call. My manager called me and said, "Hey man, just want to let you know we got the call. How does it feel? You're in the UFC." And I wish I could say I jumped for joy and everything, but it actually kind of just shocked me right there. I just sat there, like froze for a second. So I was like, oh, my roommate was a little bit more like animated than I was at the moment, but it's quickly sank in and got the chills, got the good energy. And yeah, I'm so thankful I got that phone call.
Well, congratulations, man. I mean, looking at your record, looking at some of those wins, I mean, it's well-deserved. I guess your roommate would have been the first person you told, but who's the first person you told after that? Because I'm sure you had to, let the family know, hey, I'm in the UFC now.
That's right. I called up, called my folks up, called my mom and called my dad and my mom up and dropped the news. I've been telling them for a while, hey, this is what's going on. They're telling me I'm going to get a phone call. And, it's been a long time coming for them too. They've asked me quite a few times in the past, like, what do you think? You still think that you got a timeline, a shot to make it? And and so when I finally was able to give them the news, they were ecstatic. They were so happy, to see me succeed and see me get this opportunity.
So they tell you you're fighting Michael Morales, undefeated fighter. Did you know much about him before taking this fight, or was he one of those guys you had to look up?
I didn't know much about him. I had seen him fight actually just by watching, Dana White's Contender Series and watching his last fight on the UFC. So I just happened to catch those fights live by happen chance, and so I kind of knew how to idea in my head already. But yeah,
good stuff. That's awesome. So now that you know a bit about him, stylistically, how are you looking at this fight?
Oh, he's really explosive, great athlete, good wrestler. He likes to put the jab out there, and with this kind of short notice, right? Like game planning, all that stuff. I don't know. I'm going to focus on what I do best and go in there and work with what I have, and try to put my game plan into motion,
Yeah, I was going to say, and especially, I mean, knock on wood, everything goes well for Saturday. You never know in case an opponent switches up. It's probably the best strategy anyways to focus on your skill set and not necessarily on your opponent, right? I'm sure you're used to that anyways, fighting in the regional scene where pullouts happen all the time.
Oh yeah, 100%. You gotta be focused on your game, learning, trying to get better, every day. And I don't know. I do watch tape on my opponents, but in a lot of cases, in something like this, a short notice or in the region scene with somebody, pulls out last minute, you just got to be prepared for anybody. Know that everything you were doing in camp is going to give you the best version of you and go in there, with that confidence.
Have you had a chance to glance at the betting odds for this fight? Have you seen them or no?
Just like the last fight. No, I haven't seen them. Just like the last.
Okay, well, spoiler alert, he's a really big favorite going into this fight, which I found interesting because, you guys have, you have 10 fights. He's got 13, not a huge gap there. But do you like that? Like, it seems like the pressure's on him here. He's got the undefeated record. He's the mainstay UFC guy. You're getting this call on short notice. I know for some guys, they really rise to the occasion when they get an opportunity like this, when the opponent is the one who has the pressure.
For sure. And I want to be one of those guys that rise to the occasion. I feel like I thrive under this kind of pressure. And yeah, I just got to go in there and focus on being me. Vegas doesn't really like me yet, but I like proving them wrong. And, I look to do that again this Saturday. That's my game plan. That's my goal. I want to prove my worth to this company and show them like, hey, you guys brought me in a little later than I wanted to. I feel like I should have been here, but everything happens for a reason. I'm going to carry that chip on my shoulder and take it into Saturday and just, really show them like, hey, this is what I bring to the table.
You mentioned this being short notice, but also kind of, maybe expecting an opportunity here. What type of camp have you had leading into this? Because I know you say you train every day, but it's obviously a little bit different when you have a fight lined up.
It's a little bit more mellow. I would be lying if I had said I wasn't kind of sad when I got the phone call and it was on such short notice, because I really feel like the fight itself is the training camp. The grueling, long days. The training that's completely centered around you to really kind of push you mentally. Missing out on that a little bit, but also I train very consistently. I'm in the gym every day. It's not like I take time off or anything. So really, I think the only thing I'm really missing is kind of just that training, that really gritty, grindy training, which is, in hindsight, it's good for the body. My body feels amazing right now. I'm ready to go, so,
Yeah. Yeah, there's pros and cons, right? Long camp, sometimes you get some injuries, knickknacks, whatever. And, with this, it's so short notice, you're ready to go and ready to take care of business. And, credit to you, like you said, you train every day. It's become a lifestyle, not like necessarily a camp. So you basically prepared yourself for a moment like this already, right? Like you're ready to go. It's not like you're going to miss weight or anything. You're good to go.
100%. Your preparation is key. You miss 100% of the opportunities that you're not prepared for. So preparation has to be first. And when you have preparation meets opportunity, that's when you're going to succeed. So that's what I'm trying to do for sure.
Love it. Training camp. Who do you mainly work with? Who are some of your main training partners that helped you for the sort of mini camp leading into the fight?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's been great. This camp, and really just been training every day with Brent Primus from Bellator.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I know Brent. Great dude. Great guy. Yeah.
5-pound champ. And Lucas Barbosa has moved into Eugene, Oregon. Really a touted jiu-jitsu guy. He's making his PFL debut, I believe, in a couple weeks as well. So, I got two amazing training partners there. And yeah, those guys and us three, man, we just go to work every day. It's awesome.
Will those two be in your corner, or who'll be in the cage with you for your debut?
Since Lucas is preparing for his fight, he won't be here. Brent Primus will be in my corner along with my other teammate, Chris San Jose, who's on the region.
Oh, I know Chris fought in Bellator. Yeah, I know exactly who he is. Yeah,
Chris San Jose. And yeah, so he's gonna be in my corner as well. He's up and coming. Just somebody that's been with me, trying to, be a trailblazer like I am. From Eugene, Oregon, trying to pave that path to the UFC for the next generation of fighters to come.
I like how you use the word trailblazer, being from Oregon. Obviously, that's the basketball team's name. I like the play on words, though. That was good.
That's right.
That's awesome. How do you envision the fight playing out on Saturday? How do you see it going down?
I'm not one for predictions. My fight style is kind of just take it where it's at and use. I'm kind of a Swiss Army knife of offense and defense. So really, I just think that the UFC is getting a great fight here. It's going to be, I'm not known to put on boring fights. I want to go out there. I want to put on a show. Michael's a guy that likes to put on a show. He's got a ton of finishes. Look at my record. I got a ton of finishes. I just don't see this thing lasting 3 rounds. And yeah, I want to go out there and I want to show the UFC fans like, hey, Adam Fugitt is a fighter. Adam Fugitt's here to stay.
Love it. That's good, man. We talked all about fighting. What are some of your hobbies outside of fighting? I mean, you're actually not that far away from where I live. I'm in Vancouver, Canada. So, kind of that area, good weather this time of year. What would have you been up to kind of when you get that little bit of downtime? You have a dog. I assume you do a bit of hiking.
Yeah, I have a dog. He's not built for long distances.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So small dog. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh no, he's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have that stamina. So, we go on walks. We go out to the lake, in the summer times we go out to the lake. In the winter times, we'll drive up to the snow. I spend a lot of time with my family. I got 2 nephews and a niece. Just living my best life as Uncle A. And it's funny, the middle one didn't know that I was a fighter until my last fight. And so before the last fight, all he was talking about is, Spider-Man's better than the Blue Power Ranger and, all this other stuff. And I said, well, what about Uncle A? How does he line up against those two? And he just gave me this look like, what are you talking about? And then finally he finally saw that Uncle A is a fighter and hops in there. And he called me on FaceTime after it. So that was great, you know.
And this was a great interview, man. I got to tell people off, we were talking off camera. I know you haven't done a ton of interviews, but man, you delivered, and we're looking forward to you delivering on Saturday, UFC 277. Thanks so much for the time, man. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors or any social media you want to plug before we get out of here, I'll give you the last word.
For sure. Yeah, I want to thank my friends, my family that have all been on this journey with me, that have believed in me. You know, it got a little hairy there around the pandemic and whether I was going to continue or not, but I couldn't wake up the next morning and not go to work per se. I want to thank my sponsors back in Eugene, Hot Valley Brewing, Fisherman's Market.
I was going to say, you probably post a lot of that on your social media as well. So if you happen to forget one, they can just go to your social media and they'll see the sponsors there, right?
You want to go to my social media. It's AMF, or AMF 170 MMA, I believe. I need to fix that. Those are my initials, by the way.
Yeah, I would guess so. Yeah, and I don't imagine there's a lot of Adam Fugitts around, right? So I'm sure if they look you up and they type in MMA, they'll find your name, right? So
100%. This is where my lack of skills is coming through right now.
No, hey, listen, this is where I'm picking up. I told you before we started this interview, I'd be picking up the slack if there's any whatever. But this is where I come in clutch, so it kind of worked out well, right?
I appreciate it, and I'm recently new to Twitter, so it's just Fugitt is my Twitter handle.
Okay.
So, yeah. Other than that,
on there.
That's right. You can follow me there. I'm not the best at social media, but hey.